Hello, world. Welcome back to another episode of Golf Subpar with Colt Knost and the sleazy man, Drew Stoltz. One of our favorite tournaments of the year is in the books. And Emiliano Grillo, first win in 8 years at the Charles Schwab Challenge in a playoff over Adam Schenk. First of all, let's just get this out of the way real quick because all this argument about rolling the ball back, golf courses being longer, Colonial, one of the shortest on the PGA Tour, just over 7,000 yards. Now, I know they let it go. They could let it get firm because they're ripping it up
But
today.
it wasn't crazy.
No. And 8 under par was a playoff.
8 under.
Can we stop?
Stop it.
Can we please stop with all this? It's just ridiculous. There's golf courses that hold the test of time. You know what? You know what also helps? Trees.
Trees, dog legs, rough, and some firm greens. It's about what you need.
I don't know if you happen to see the Senior PGA Championship out at the new facility in Frisco there, PGA
Saw
America.
pieces, yeah.
Big golf course, wide open. I believe 18 or 19 under par was a playoff between Steve Stricker and Padraig Harrington. These old school golf courses can hold their own. I know you don't get to send dog on every hole and everything.
You can, though, if you want to, more or less,
yeah.
around Colonial. You just got to hit it straight.
But, man, it was so cool to watch that place get firm and bouncy and actually have to think your way around. But at the end of it, Emiliano Grillo, ball striking machine, made it rather interesting, though. I actually learned something on Sunday watching this.
Good.
So on 18, Emiliano Grillo blocks it way right over there. You've played the course a million times. You've been there.
I've been in that.
I've been there.
I've been there, yeah.
Well, his ball is inside the penalty area, but it's going downstream. And they're with Mark Duspavic, the rules official, like, hey, what's the situation here? They're like, this is actually a time where you can hit a moving golf ball. Because you can't just sit there and wait forever for the ball to come to stop on a good spot. He's like, he can actually take a whack at this thing if he wants. And I said, I had no clue.
Be sick.
It would be so sick.
Hurry up, though. You're going to have another dog in a minute.
So they got to the point where, it went 70, 80 yards down the penalty area. And finally, they're like, we've determined this has been too long. He has to go back to where it last entered. Ends up making dub on the last. Looked like he might give it away. Adam Schenk had a putt to win. But the coolest thing, so obviously the range is really far away from the clubhouse there at Colonial. So if there's a playoff, they let guys hit balls off the first tee. Did you see this?
Yeah.
So there's two kids standing there in the grandstands while Emiliano's hitting balls. And he's like, hey, you want to come hit a few? And they're like, are you kidding me? And I guess their dad picks them up over the fence, and there they come over, hit a couple, go into the locker room with him after he wins, give him a couple.
Give him a hug, ask for a hug at the end. Like, I need a hug. He gives him a hug. Dude just made dub.
How cool. You just made dub to possibly lose an event. And you go and do that. If that doesn't gain a lot of fans for Emiliano Grillo, I don't know what does. But me knowing him like I do, he's the angry Argentine, as I like to call him. Apparently, since he's had his kid's 11 months old or something, has totally changed him. He's so much cool, calm, relaxed. And the double was like, yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, that's different. You don't see that from a lot of guys that just made dub. Maybe you'd hold out from the fairway and you stole a piece of a playoff that you weren't expecting, but not after dub. And to your point on that golf course, like, I know they're blowing it up. They're blowing up the greens, but we've been saying this for years, and it just hasn't quite happened at Colonial because they've been just pounded with rain. Like the last couple of years when I've been there, I was like, there's no fear for guys of hitting it in the rough, so they will just pound driver down there because as soon as you hit it on those greens, it would just stop, right? I was like, if they got these greens with a little fire to them, and all of a sudden these balls are jumping out of the rough and they're landing and bouncing over, and then you got to have some of these short-sighted chips and things like that. I was like, this place would play miles different because we've seen scores in the single digits win out there. They're about to go in there and change it, but I was like, this week is perfect. Hopefully there's no rain because they can do whatever they want to this golf course. It doesn't have to get back playable for the members or anything. They can just let it go. And they did. Balls were bouncing, balls were released, and it makes that course so much more difficult. But it wasn't like weird. They weren't bouncing head high or anything. They just had a little heat to them, and then all of a sudden, bam, there you are, 8 under par. You don't got to do that much weird stuff to bring back, scores. If you're worried about the 20 under pars, you can do it. But you need golf courses that can do it, and Colonial is one.
And I get it. You have to realize, like, the members want to tee it up at their golf course the next week. And so you don't really want to just stress them out to where they're gone, and then you have this recovery time.
Yeah, you got it. Hey, no play for a while.
I'll tell you this. We had Gil Hance on radio last week, and he's the one in charge of restoring Colonial Country Club. I am so excited for what they're going to do. I think it's going to be awesome. The problem is, it's an 18-month project that they're doing in 11 months. So they need a lot of things to go their way weather-wise, he was saying. But they plan on having it ready for next year's Charles Schwab Challenge. I think it's going to be incredible.
I'm excited to see what it looks like. Like I said, the last couple of years, been down there talking to some of the members. Oh, here's what they're going to do. They're moving this green over here, and they're doing this and that. And, like, I think that golf course is classic. It's awesome. It's held the test of time, but also a little facelift here and there. I don't think they're going to change the aesthetic or the, history, I guess, of the Triple C. It's just going to be tweaked up a little bit, but they got a heavy lift to get that thing ready for a year from now.
He told us the two biggest changes will be number 8, the par 3.
Yeah.
Which they're trying to bring
Moving
the river
down to
more
the water.
into play.
Right.
The tee is going to be over the water. The green's actually going to go left. There's a creek over there in the trees that you can't see. They're going to clear that out over there. And then number 13, the other par 3 that's over the water, that's really good. Some big changes coming to that, but redoing a lot of the bunkering. It's going to be cool, man. That's, it always gets a strong field because it's a lot of the players' favorite golf courses on tour, and you can see why.
I'm a big lobbyer for, I think that event should be designated at some point. I think there's the history, Hogan's Place, the winners. If you look at that wall of champions there on the first tee, it's like, man, and that town shows up for it too. They show up for it. They love their golf. I'd love to see that thing get everybody in the field, hopefully sooner than later.
One last thing about Colonial. Scotty Scheffler, just another ho-hum.
Yeah, just
third place finish.
every week.
Misses the playoff by a shot.
Ace, by the way.
Makes a hole-in-one. Was T70 in strokes gained putting and lost by a shot.
Someone put out a tweet, and I'm probably
ridiculous.
messing it up, but it was some crazy length of time. I think it was like the last year. If you go back a year from now, he has gained 4 on the field, strokes gained tee to green, and at least 4 in every event for a year. And it's like, that's like never been. He literally hasn't had a bad ball striking week in a year.
It's ridiculous.
It's just he can't.
He finished last.
He's
in
hitting
putting
it so
almost
good.
won.
Like, dude, he can't play bad right now. Like, what's bad? I mean, he's hitting more greens than anybody. He's hitting more fairways. Hitting it long as hell. It's like, if he makes putts, he wins. Period. And if he putts terribly, he's going to finish in the top 10 most of the time. So he hasn't played bad, and I mean, you got to go back to find, an MC out of Scotty.
I mean, if we talk about it all the time with certain guys, but like for him, honestly, if he putts average, he might run away with the tournament.
And he can putt. Like, he's not a bad putter. Just the short ones have kind of been his little, Achilles heel, I guess, for a while. But I mean, dude, that can change like that, and you can't just all of a sudden be like, I'm going to start driving at 320 down the middle of every fairway and hitting wedges and 9-irons to the moon that land right by the hole. His bad is still really good, and that's rare.
This week's episode is brought to you by Ruby Frost apples. These apples capture the perfect balance of sweet and tart with a hearty crunch. Ruby Frost apples are grown by more than 150 family farmers in New York State, including the Rochester area where the PGA Championship just took place. Ruby Frost apples are currently available to purchase at many major retailers across the country, including Aldi, BJ's, Tops, Sprouts, The Fresh Market, Hannaford, Trader Joe's, and more. Whether you're grabbing one on the go to put in your golf bag or sharing them with your family, Ruby Frost healthy attributes benefit everyone. Bursting with vitamin C, Ruby Frost apples contain no fat, sodium, or cholesterol, are an excellent source of fiber, and full of natural, energizing sugars. Sleaze, you know what they say? An apple a day keeps the doctor and the bogeys away.
Watch this. I'm going to keep the doctors way the hell away from me.
And bogeys. I'm about to go tee it.
I'm going to smash this whole thing. That is delicious and crispy.
All right, so go check out some Ruby Frost apples. All right, well, let's get to it because this is going to be a lot of fun. We did it last year. We might as well run it back.
Run it back. It's going to be the exact same episode.
Yeah, just replay last year's and it'll be the same thing.
We're super disappointed.
Except you had a different caddy and you played against some children.
Right. One group of actual children who are really fucking good, by the way.
Here we go. Here's Sleaze and Kitty on Subpar. Well, here we go again. 2022 to 2023, the back-to-back runner-ups at the USGA Four Ball. Guys, it was another hell of a performance. Drew Kittleson, the sleazy man, very proud of you. I know you wanted to bring home the gold this year, but how's it feel to be runner-up once again?
Well, we've been informed we're the only people to ever go back-to-back in the finals. There's only been like 8 years of it. We're the only ones, and it also hurts maybe even worse, I think, than the first. Because the first one, like we talked about last year, we weren't even in it. We didn't even know until 2 days before, like, yo, can you make this happen? Let's go down there. No practice rounds. Just kind of like, let's go have fun, see what happens. This one, like, we knew about it. We tried it a little bit for us, like leading up to it, like hit ball. Yo, you're hitting balls, doing this. And so, like, we were more locked in for this, I guess, knowing it was coming, and just, damn, man.
I mean,
this is his third now, going back to the USAM, so I wanted that even more for the kid.
Well, first off, Wyndham Clark skipped Colonial because he couldn't have his trusty caddy because you had to go play in the four ball.
Probably cost him a grizz.
Kitty, your third USGA runner-up. I believe that's second to Phil Mickelson's 6.
Nice. That's a record.
Yeah, so
all right.
You're in the books.
I don't know if that's totally true, but I feel like it's
Let's
close
use
enough.
it.
We can make it up.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Let's use it.
But, I mean, what a performance. I just want to start with the prep because I know how my man Sleaze is over here. Going into it, I mean, there was an occasional range session here or there. For you, when you're getting ready to go play this thing, knowing y'all are one of the best teams, is it Is there some grinding going on, or do you just say, hey, I'm just going to show up and see what happens?
Well, like Slee said, last year there was no grinding because we didn't know. But this year, I just tried to get in shape more.
Yeah, you've done that.
Yeah, I mean, try.
Jacked.
The boy's a unit now.
But that was kind of the deal, because I'm either going to play good or I'm not. And so I just thought if I was in better shape, it would help, and it didn't help at all. because I mean,
ever.
yeah, I'm still recovering. We probably ended 5 days ago now, or something, 4 days ago. But that was kind of the intention, was just to try to get in some shape, because we were just dragging by the end. But I don't think you can be in shape. I guess you hypothetically can, but no normal person can be in shape for that amount of golf, walking, golf shoes. It's all the side hill walking. I mean, you know the drill, but your feet are just in shambles. So, and it was hot. The weather was okay, but it was just it was a grind.
I thought the wind too, just like not just the physical. Like the one day we walked, how many holes did we play? Played 39 holes the one day, which our caddy has a step tracker, and he was like, we walked 18 miles, boys. Yeah. Or he walked 18 miles. We might have had a little bit more back and forth with the range and stuff like that. That's one thing. That's a shitload of walking. I haven't walked that far ever in my life, probably. But on top of that, with the way that course was playing, 20 constant probably on the first few days of match play, and then gusting to 30. So, like, it was more like figuring, all right, I had 127. I remember I hit an 8-iron. You know what I mean? I was like, is 8 too much? Like, that's a shitload of wind. You know what I mean? But there's more. It's not like, oh, it's 155. Give me the 9. I'll hit it right at it. It was like, it's blowing a million. This could be 1 club or 2 clubs. Could be 3. There's more thinking, I guess, on every shot.
Chapped noses.
My nose is blasted,
dude.
It
was horrible.
My feet are bleeding.
How was the caddy situation this year? Because you raved about your guy last year.
Chino, shout out Chino. Cheen was the best.
I figured y'all might fly him up.
We talked about it.
It was discussed, but we had a very, very close friend of ours. Their whole family came in. The Wichters, Mark and Jake and Jesse, rented a house, stayed with them. We couldn't have done it without him. Mark Wichter, we've known for, I don't know, the last decade or so, maybe even longer. He's a fantastic guy, rented a house, and just a sweetheart of a man. Really good golfer in his own right. And then, so Mark caddied for me. He's a great guy, great golfer. I felt lucky to have him. And then Jake, his son, caddied for Sleaze. And I'll let you talk about Jake.
Jake's he just finished his sophomore year at NC State on the golf team there. Good player. So they're a Chicago family, but they moved to South Carolina within the last few years. There's a quick pop for them over there. I've been talking about it for a long time. I mean, dude, they couldn't have been better. Jake's a stud, good player. He knows a lot of the kids we were playing, in these matches. They'd gone out there and played those golf courses a little bit, like leading up to it. So they kind of had a little scoop on the golf course. But, man, that whole family, the Wichter family. And then we'd get done and we'd come home and Wick's breaking out bottles of wine that we ain't never drank before. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't drinking at home. I'll say that because the man loves his wine. He's like, here you go, have some of this. Put your feet up. He and Jake would play gin all night long until we passed out. We listened to them to talk shit to each other the whole time. It was just like, it's so much more fun than last year's. Like last year's like finish hotel. Oh, can we get another night at this hotel? Maybe. And then like, we finally ran out. Like, no, we don't have any room. We got to get our shit, go drive around, find it, try to do laundry. This year was just like, we're here. And that's part of the reason why it's so fun. Like the golf part's fun. It's fun to compete, I would say. Like it's like kind of our one time a year, but also it's like we don't get to hang with the Wichters anymore or very often. And like the fact that they were so into it, I mean, they were as into it as anybody. Jesse, the wife's out there walking around with us. It just felt like we had our own little pack this year. Last year we were just kind of on our own.
Mark Wichter in logistics. He's like, guys, logistics is my thing.
Perfect.
You don't have to worry about anything. What do you need? He's like, don't fly with umbrellas. Got it. Wait, tee time's this. We leave this time. This is what we do. We're going to drop here. And by the way, we don't look for parking. We park right here. I mean, this is what we do. And so logistics, he had it covered. All we had to do was wake up and play golf.
I was like, damn, my feet hurt. I put 12 Band-Aids on both of your seats in the car. Don't worry. I figured that'd be a problem. I was like, I mean, dude, he's just dialed.
We need this guy around more.
Oh, he's the best.
They
don't come better than the Wichter family.
All right. Well, speaking of not the best, I believe you played a practice round with Mr. Romo.
Oh, he was actually we were on the range with Tone.
Okay,
and he was.
on the range.
They were like a couple groups ahead or behind us somewhere.
Tony and his partner Tommy Morrison. By the way, got a little report at the start of the week because we have some of the same CBS people with football as we do in golf. Tony's already texted, shot 66 in the practice round, 6 birdies. Obviously, they didn't make it to match play. Was there any chirping going on between you and Romo?
I ran into him he walked up when we were on the range. They must have played a couple groups. And we had texted, or I talked with Tommy, actually, his partner at the ASU tournament out here, which was just recent because Texas came and played. And I was like, hey, what's the deal? Because the NCAA is kind of, can prevent you from playing it. He's like, I don't know, man. Like, I think he was in Indy. for Texas at the time. So I was like, are y'all gonna be able to play? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, fringe, make the team, not make the team. I saw that he made it into regionals for them, and then he played really well too. So I was like, oh, Tommy might not be able to play. Like, that's gonna, by the way, crush Tony. If he has to bail on that, it's not like you can just grab another partner and be like, oh, I'll take him instead. But they made it to NCAAs, and it was early enough, I guess, that they were like, yo, we'll go down there and we'll play, and if they make it all the way through, figure it out. Still would have got back for what, like maybe one practice round at NCAAs, but it would have been. It didn't end up happening, but damn, that would have been a fun match to have somewhere along the way. There would have been a lot of. If we get into the heat of the battle with them, there would have been a lot of. Like, can we get a clock over here?
Yeah.
On the first tee. Just get out ahead of it. Just get out ahead of it. Just get out ahead of it.
He's, what is he, 6'7" or something?
I think he's like 6, 8 or 9.
He's so big.
Yeah. Smashes.
Nice dude.
They all
too.
smash
Sure,
it.
I'm
I mean,
sure.
you smash it, so it
Nice
doesn't really
dude
matter.
too.
We played practice round Muddy Waters.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The
How
Pout.
was it? Was his
Pout was
attitude?
in the house. It was as you would expect. And then I got a text from him after the first day. He's like, made 0 bogeys, 0 birdies, was just firing 5 irons to tuck pins all day. I hate golf. I want to play. I'm ready to be on the senior circuit
The
again.
17th ranked senior amateur, guys.
Yeah, I bet
That's
you
right.
he hit 14 fairways and then had probably 5 irons in.
Is he still launching it high with no spin?
super high and drawing? Everything drawing.
Right after the rain and humidity, he was loving it.
God. Yeah, obviously, you got to play 2 rounds of stroke play before you make it to match play. Any stress in stroke play, or did y'all cruise through all right?
I'd say more stress than we would have liked. Do you agree with that?
sure.
We started
Not
off
the
so
great-
slow.
yeah, not the
We
best
played the
start.
harder course first, for sure. And by the way, the conditions for stroke play were like way different than the wind came up for match play. It was blowing 20, 30. It was blowing nothing, 5 to 10 maybe in the stroke play rounds. But we started off, man, harder golf course. They put the pins, I felt like, way harder than last year for stroke play because pace of play is a big issue. Like getting
And we
people
didn't
around.
know that because we only played one practice round, we didn't know that the other course was easy. I'm not saying
people
easy,
were
but we
saying-
didn't know it was way easier. So
Yeah.
we're like sitting over there, even through 7. We're like, oh,
Yeah, we were
God,
even
this
through
is-
6.
This is not good.
That was maybe my most like nervous or like stressful point of the turn up to that point was like we were even through 6. We hadn't done anything. We parred a par 5. Then there's some tricky holes. We didn't, but a couple ones you feel like somebody should birdie. We got to a par 5, which is like Cat's longer than everyone, right? So the par 5's like he hits fairways, like we have a huge advantage. He hit it. It's a lake all down the right. He hit one right. It never crossed water or never crossed land.
Didn't even hit another one. Hold
Didn't
your
even
breath.
hit it. I hit it in the fairway first. So he's up there. He doesn't even hit another one. I get up there, and other 2 dudes lay up, and I got like 255 flag. And there's like a little puff in. So I'm like, it's 265 max type deal. It's like one of those ones if it's stroke play, you just like, give me the 3-wood. It's perfect. I'll aim it left, and if I miss left. But with him being out of play, there's water short and right. And I was like, okay. Jake
Here
was
we
talking to me.
go.
He's like, so what are you thinking? I'm like, what am I going to hit? Gap wedge? Like, dude, I can't lay up from 250. We're even par. You know what I mean? I got to hit 3-wood. But I was standing over that, and I just kind of quick hit. I was like, give me a 3-wood. It's perfect 3-wood. I just try to fade it. But I was standing over. I was like, if I block this or hit this in the soup, and he's in his pocket, and he's not even playing the hole, like, and we're 2 over potentially now, like, then that's big stress. And anyways, we ended up making tweet.
No.
But
he hit the most beautiful. It pains me to give him a
Yes.
compliment, but it was the most beautiful 3-wood that landed on the fringe and trickled to like 8 feet. He just said he doesn't probably want to say that he missed it, which is why he went for the
missed
tweet.
it by 2 balls, by the way.
It
But I was
broke. It was left edge, missed it by 2 balls.
All
I
right,
got
we
it
made a
going.
tweet. We made a tweet, and then I just felt like neither of us played bad. We just weren't making that many tweets. It was just like pars over and over.
Tougher course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get into match play. You had a couple adventures. One went 22 holes against some rather young fellas. First off, his name is Blades, and Jackson, his partner. I got some text messages about this kid Blades from some people in the golf industry. They told me he was 15. Apparently he's 16.
But I think he turned 16 like maybe during the tournament.
They're like, this kid that they're playing tomorrow, his name's Blades. He is a stud. Like, can absolutely go. And I said, well, with a name like that, he should. But they had y'all 3 down, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
3 down
dude.
through 9
At
holes.
the turn. At
Yeah.
the turn.
Well, they
First
were
of all,
like
Blades.
500 through 6 or something.
Yeah.
They came out. I got texts from Stallings before because they're Tennessee kids. They're like, these are my boys. This Blades kid's my guy. Like, they're good. All this type of stuff. And I mean, at that point, because the match before was a 22 hole, and this was the one that went 18. We had to finish the next day. But the team they beat, Garrett Rank,
Yeah.
who's the NHL caddy, or excuse me,
Official
ref.
ref, caddy,
Yeah,
NHL
ref.
caddy.
Former mid-am, either winner or runner-up. Like, dude, he's a dude.
Won the
He
Western
He
Am.
won the Western against all the college kids, and his partners won a bunch of stuff too. Like, that's a team that would be one of the favorites, and they beat him. So I'm like, you don't beat them by accident. So I knew they were going to be super nice going in, and they were.
It was blowing like 30, and Sleaze hits it to like this, nothing on the very first hole, and with 5-iron.
Dude, I hit a 5 from like,
and then Blaze just gets up and blowing 30 from like 170.
I was like, we're gonna be one up, sick. We haven't tweeted this whole.
Then I offered the good.
Oh yeah,
And they said no.
Yeah. I was probably this. I was probably like, I mean, I could see
your
maybe
elders.
putting it, but
Yeah, I know.
and his was like up the hill, I guess, into the wind, and mine
Yeah.
was like flat but downwind. I could see like maybe, but we're like, yo, this is just good. And
Yeah.
he kind of like looked at his. You could tell he didn't want to do it. Looked at his part. He's like, let me ask. We're like, no, you don't have to ask. Like,
Yeah,
no,
I know.
we'll just putt it. But I was standing over. I was like, would have been nice.
Did he call you Mr. Sleaze?
No, there wasn't a lot of chatter with that group. I felt like
Yeah.
they were locked into their zone.
They're focused.
They're good, and that his partner Jackson, the lefty, who's also the same age, hits missiles.
Yeah,
Probably
he
the
moves
closest dude to Cat in the field. Like, could take some of the same lines. Like when we get into the back nine, he could. There's some holes where if you send it, you can change the entire hole. And like he's right there, and he's 15, 16 years old, big kid, strong kid. Dude, that team. When we got done, I was like, good news, we won. Bad news is next year they'll be 16.
And they're going to be a problem.
They're going to be fucking better.
They're
I hope they turn pro or get in college
Yeah,
quick.
dude, just turn pro. I think that's the right move.
Well, obviously we don't need to go through every single match, but you get to the finals and you're playing the number 1 seed, Sampson and Aaron Doe from Cal, which I actually know Aaron Doe from covering the Asian Pacific Amateur. Really good player, but these guys, number 1 seed overall, got all the way to the finals, which doesn't happen very often. Take us through that match, because, I mean, that's a tough one. You got 2 college kids that play for a very good school. I think that we were shocked they weren't at NCAAs.
Yeah, I think they're 1 and 2.
Yeah.
For
I
Cal,
mean, I think
yeah.
they're both playing like the Palmer Cup and stuff for
I
the
know
international
Sampson
team.
is, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they both are.
Yeah, so I mean, they're totally legit players. We got up early, maybe.
We won number 2.
Yeah.
Both of us tweeted 2. Neither of them. I was like, we're 1 up through 2, and we had a little talk like, let's go. Last year we were up 2 up through 2, and then you get a little. I was like, let's keep the pedal down, let's keep going, and then they go tweet, and all that, and we didn't put the pedal down. But I mean, the difference between playing those guys, Kat, and like, we didn't even play that many mid-am teams this year. It was
all
so
kids.
many more kids, but it's just like the mid-ams, you get like a missed putt here and there, or like an up and down that you should get up and down, but they don't because they're just not sharp. You know what I mean? Or maybe a weird drive here or there. We actually got a few weird drives out of one of them, but the other one covered them up every time. You just don't have like the loose shots you get from guys that like work and have, you know what I mean?
You don't get the freebie. You don't
You don't get the like missed greens with a 9-iron or something like that. That like just happens when you're not super sharp, and there's just you got to go. You got to
had
go
our
get
chances
them.
against them.
Easily, man.
They just you got to make those 20-footers if you're gonna. Well, I wouldn't know what it would take to win a USGA championship, but you got to make
That we've
like
heard.
the 20-footers. Yeah, and
Well, if you don't, you finish second.
yeah,
Right.
So I got that down.
Like Michael
but
Thompson.
but they just made them, and we were right there. I mean, he made like a 25-footer that was going 10 feet by from the
17.
fringe on 16. And,
The par 3, that's
16,
where he made birdie,
16,
right?
yeah. And so
Yeah, man, like
there
that.
was just holes that,
They made. That
I would
come
go
down
play
to
him
them-
again. I know we'd be the underdog, but it's not like I felt that it was impossible.
Like
by
crazy
any means.
outgunned. I thought honestly, looking back at that match, the front because we turned it level with those guys.
Yeah.
Remember, we got 9 holes, dude.
Yeah.
9-hole match for the whole for
Yeah.
everything. And I think the front 9 is where we let them like.
Stay in it a bit.
Yeah, because I hit it good. The back 9, he was just a workhorse the entire week. We'll get into some of those holes, but like front 9, I hit it really good in that match, and I had 4 putts, probably 10 feet in, maybe 12 max to win holes, and missed 3 of them. Made the one on 9. That was the only one I made to win the hole and square it up going in. But I'm like, those are putts that 2 of those go, 3, and we turn with the lead. It's just like things are like, and on their side when they got it to 15 feet, like one of them would make it. You know what I mean? And we didn't, and we'd lose holes. So like, I feel like we actually had the statistical advantage on the front 9. We just didn't make anything, and then the back 9 they got going and made some more.
Well, obviously there was a lot of people keeping up with this and following along our group text at Wisbrock, but there was actually a man on Instagram that was out there following y'all and was giving me shot by shot updates on DMing me, giving me all. It was sending pictures of y'all certain holes. It was great. So I was able to. I was like ahead of the app, so I could inform our Whisper Rock guys.
Yeah.
I was like, Kitty just hit it to 5 feet.
Yeah.
So Slee just made an 8-footer. They're like, how do you know this? I was like, I don't know, some
just
random
feel
dude.
This is what I do, dude.
DMing
I'm
me.
a broadcaster. Yeah.
But it was great, man. Had to be just awesome to get back in the finals again. Do we have the silver medals this time? Because I know last
I
year.
have mine. Do you have yours?
Yeah. Well,
I got them both now.
It's in my golf bag.
Okay.
I have it
Yeah,
open in my
mine's
golf
in my
bag
backpack.
since.
Good job. And you
know where it
mentioned,
is.
y'all. I think it was kind of unlucky that y'all had to play so many college kids because I have a feeling their nighttime activities were probably a little different than y'all's, and daytime.
Well, yeah. I mean, we did a good job of resting in the nighttime. We just watched like the Nuggets and the Celtics, but
drank wine.
Yeah, we just drank wine with Mark. If you saw his wine, even if you didn't want to drink it,
Like I should drink
I
this.
should probably have a glass.
Were the transfusions flowing on the
Yeah,
course?
we did some damage on those bad boys. That's what I'm saying. With Wick, you don't ever have to worry about anything, a shortage of supplies, let's just say. And then we had a nice little system to make sure we were refreshed
Right
at
where
all
we
times.
needed to
That's
be.
pivotal, by the way. Like, we're not out there, like, toppling over or anything. We're just like, dude, we're old. We need to ease the nerves a little bit. You know what I mean? This is how we play every single round of our lives. Yeah, exactly.
Don't change. Don't change.
And it's like fun for us too. Like, I know we want to win. We care. It sucked when we lost, but like it's also like when we got down there, I was like, before some of our matches, like, okay, so here's our options. We win. We keep going. We drink great wine tonight. Have a great dinner. Laugh. Hang out. You lose. You go home. You go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like.
If you need motivation,
You know what I mean?
that's
Like, let's
motivation.
extend this as long as
Stay at the house looking
as
over the
humanly
ocean,
possible.
drinking nice wine, or go home.
Yeah,
And
Seems
we're
like
in
an easy
control of it.
decision.
Yeah.
And
I
take
got to
work
ask you
calls.
because one of the things this guy messaged me was one of your tee shots on 17, which I believe was like over a 320-yard carry.
Gotta
You drove
talk
to like
about it.
6 or 8 feet. He told me, he goes, everyone at the club was talking about it. He said the only person they've ever seen keep it on that green was Sergio Garcia. And they said that you did it, I mean, when you had to have it, apparently.
Yeah, in the semifinals match. Well, first of all, against those kids, against Blades and
This was
Jackson, I hit it on the French.
It's legitimately, and that's from the other tee box. So
Yeah,
the
the
one you're
back.
talking about, which is still a ship, I can believe that someone else has done it. Like this one that he hit, because we had wind too, it was kind of helping. But the cover, I don't know if anyone ever shot the
Like
cover
on the kids' day. We
on
had
the
help.
kids' day when it was way back
Kids' day.
in the dark.
Yeah. Oh, the
In the
kids.
dark, dude. I'm looking
double their age.
to give some perspective, it's like almost a 90-degree dogleg right? And it's all over marsh. So you kind of pick your line. It's a really hard fairway to hit, period, because like it shrinks
Runs
up there
away
where
from
you got to cover like a bunker, and it runs away from you. So you just hit it through the fairway if you bite off too much, or if you go way left, then you have like a wider fairway but a super long shot. But nobody from that tee that day. Dude, like I wouldn't have thought in a million years, like, yeah, from that tee, from the up tee, I was like, yeah, you should ship it. From that one, I was like, no chance. Take it 25 yards left of it, and let's just try to have a chip. I'm dead serious when I say I think it's the most incredible drive I've ever seen in the history of my life. Like, I think there's a couple dudes on the PGA Tour maybe that could have hit that shot. I mean, what's your club head speed when you really go?
I honestly have no idea.
5 maybe when he's like sending, right? That's pretty.
I would
and
agree
this
with
thing,
that.
I would bet you it was over 320 cover.
Oh, for sure.
It had to be 330-ish in there, and he goes directly at it, and it's dark at that point. They asked us if we wanted to stop the match at that point, and we wanted to keep going because we were finally getting some momentum on
We
it.
had just won.
And
the
you don't
hole
like
before.
playing at 7 a.m.
And I was like, dude, we're going to wake up at 6. I was like, Kitty, just friggin' make an ace on this so we could go home, dog, you know? And the kids were like, let's play one more. And we're like, awesome. And when I got up there, I hit it where I normally hit them. I have some sort of wedge or whatever. They hit it kind of in the same spot. I think the big lefty took a more aggressive line. We had like a 40-yard pitch or something like that. And Kitty stands up and he's looking right at it. And it's dark. You can't see anything. So he hits it, and it's a goddamn missile. And I'm like, I have no idea. It could be in the marsh. Could be over.
It's so
Could
dark,
be
you
long.
can't
You
see
can't
any
see.
of it.
And there's no one up there that can see it either at this point because it's so dark. So I hit. They all hit. We get up there. We're looking around. And as we're walking up, there's like one of the USGA people. They're like, there's a ball in the fringe, 15 feet. And I was like, no. I thought it was maybe best case bunker, just short in the marsh. And we get up there, and I was like,
our walker goes, you have a Titleist 4, right? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, that's your ball on the fringe.
Do we sure Mark didn't run out or anything and put it
335.
there?
He
He
didn't
didn't
have
your
the-
loyal fans.
He doesn't have the wheels for that. And there was like there was like one person up there, and they couldn't even like hear it. It must have hit right in the upslope because where it stopped, it's physically
You saw
impossible
it
for
because
the
you could
ball.
see it. It just hit right in the
It hit right into the
bank.
upslope of like the bank, killed it, rolled 6 inches onto the fringe, had 15 feet. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And then I found out when they suspended play for the night, y'all were 1 up, 1 to play. I was like, oh, boy, this could be a problem. Kitty, I'm going to need you to wake up a little early and finish this one off because my man normally doesn't play well before noon.
We're waking up. I'm a morning person.
Me too.
Yeah. So I'm waking up and we're all in the car with the Wichters going to the course, and I was like, man, all these USGA people were at Starbucks this morning, and he looks at me. He's like, you already were up and went to Starbucks?
I set my alarm for like 4:30. I was like, what time did you wake up to go to Starbucks?
What do you mean you've been awake? He looks at me like I saw ghosts.
Dude, we were in there eating. I was like, do we even need to hit ball? Like, is this a ball hitting situation? It's one hole, hopefully. You know what I mean? I think I can slap one out there and knife something up on the green, hopefully make 4.
That extra hole in the morning was just brutal.
That was Kitty's. That back 9 that Kitty played in that match was one of the best 9s I've ever seen. I think that 9's perfect for you. Like I said, there's some other holes where he can hit over things that other people can't. Just shrinks holes crazy. But he's walking off that 335 in the air the night before we get up there. We know these kids are going to have 2 looks at Tweak because they're good. I hit on the front of the green, like 25 feet. I was like, okay, that's par. So now one of them, Kitty can fire, and one of them's got to make Tweak. And they both hit it up there 20-ish, maybe less, 15 feet, something like that. Kitty gets up there and hits a chippy 6 to like 3.5 feet. And damned if Blades, superhero Blades, doesn't just step up and roll it in the middle of the fucking hole. And I was like, God dang, he's going to have to make this now. I mean, it's 6:45. It's windy. Like, anything could happen. And Kitty knocks that in for Tweak. These 2 kids, Blaze and Jackson, after that back 9 that Kitty played, they're like, they think Kitty's got to be like the U.S. Open favorite. No question about it, because that back 9 that he played against them, like he was all the offense. I felt like I was playing fine. I was just making par. I made 1 birdie, but he was birdied it anyways. I was like, what do you want me to do, dude? You birdie in every hole. Like, nobody's going to help.
You just get on his back and ride him
I
like
was riding
the
shit shit out of him on that back 9. I was like, you're the best. You're the dude. You can't touch you. You're the guy.
Go get him.
Yeah, just do it. Just keep doing that.
Are we still going driver off the deck mostly, or you teeing
Depending
it up?
on the hole.
Yeah.
Depending on the hole, yeah.
Have you seen? You got a little challenger for best in the world of driver off the deck. There's this Instagram guy.
Yeah, DOD.
People are trying to get me to
actually
set up
really
a match
like
with
this
you
kid,
about
by the
that.
way. I think he's fantastic. Just talk shit.
Well, because, I don't have Insta, and
Yeah.
so I'm just getting bombarded by this guy, whoever this DOD king is, and I'm just getting everybody, every time he posts.
I'm guessing Kevin Turner says Kevin Turner's begging me to set up a match with y'all.
By the way, there's not just Kevin, but now I'm getting it from everybody. And so I was like, dude, anybody can do it on Instagram, DOD King. Like, why don't you do it in the USGA event, like when it matters?
Yeah, when the shit matters. And by the way, I'll go take DOT King, driver off the T King. If you want to ship 340 over a marsh onto the fringe, do that too. We can set that up.
Well, I do have a mutual friend with this guy, so if you're interested, we could possibly set up this match and have some fun with it. Maybe Sleaze and I, broadcast it.
Done.
I actually really like that kid, by the way.
He's got some swag.
He's like the Conor McGregor. He just talks shit. It's all.
The videos
all like an
that I've
act,
seen
but it's
are awesome.
great.
Yeah.
I watch all his stuff.
shit
I'm like,
talking.
oh, this is great. This is great.
Yeah,
It's fine. Everyone just hits him in the comments.
This one was sent to me, and he had the sickest, throwback Titleist hoodie on. That I was like,
The kid?
This DOD King. I want the jacket more than I want to play golf with him.
He also plays the entire hole with drivers. He has a 8-iron driver and a bunker driver. He plays the entire holes and makes.
If you do that in a USGA event,
props.
Now you're the king, bud.
Props.
All right. Well, you're obviously going to be in the 4-ball the next few years again for finishing runner-up. Some talk of possibly maybe giving y'all an exemption into the mid-am just because the college kids aren't eligible, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's a maybe. Have you heard anything on that?
I don't know if it's talk. We'll write them for requests, or I don't really know how it works.
Maybe we get social media to start.
We were informed to write a letter to the USGA asking for one because they reserved 2 spots for the winners of that thing. Typically mid-ams. It's not this year, so those spots aren't being used. And they're like,
where is
with
the
back-to-back runners up? I think you guys
Sleepy Hollow.
Oh,
yes,
hello,
so
friends.
sick.
Yeah,
So sick.
And I thought the coolest. I mean, if y'all would end up winning, you get in the USAM obviously, and it's Cherry Hills this year.
I know.
God,
Just a little quick pop up there, stay with some friends, played Cherry. Actually, I haven't played Cherry since the redo, but it's sweet. And by the way, the secondary course is at Colorado Golf Club.
Yeah,
where you played the mid-am a few years back, which is maybe my favorite course in the state.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully
would have been sick.
The USGA ends up giving y'all a spot in the mid-am. Y'all go out there. One of you win it. See you at the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal. Never been. But
Yeah.
Never made a 2 on number 11.
Check that.
Best up and down of all time.
I can't even get home.
Do that, DOD King.
Yeah, do that, DOD King.
If you would have made the putt on 17 in the dark, that would have been maybe the best up and down.
That would have
rivaled 11 at
for
Augusta.
Sure.
If you would have hooped that.
But instead 3-wiggle.
What do you think we got to do better? Where do we got to be better? Because we try. We
try. It's not an effort. Last
you've lost in extra holes and you've lost 2 and 1.
Yeah. And they tweeted 17. Like I thought 16 was the pivotal. I was like, we're 1 down. Kitty's got monster advantage on 17 for the championship. If we just get 17 1 down, like really good chance to win that. And then 18, like anything can happen. 16's like a 210 par 3. We both hit it up there, pars, whatever. And then he hoops the like 20-footer from the fringe that was barreling, and that's when I was like, 2 down, 2 to go.
Stress.
And then he had a great drive, and they tweeted
right
17.
And I was right on, I was just 5 feet over the green, chipping from, probably 35
had a
feet.
good look.
But then they made tweet, and that was that.
That was the one.
Well, it was a hell of a
You got to
guys.
get longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do for you. That's what I'm going to do. That's going to be my prep. What are you going to do?
I wouldn't worry about action. I'm just stay me. Keep making a lot of pars.
He's the jockey.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Let the museum eat. He wasn't as hungry.
You can't. Sometimes there's this feeling that maybe that I'm carrying him out there, and you can't make deep runs like that without he contributes. It's not.
Yeah, but it's more fun for all of us at home to say he does it.
And I just wear it too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Even if I shoot 600 on the front, they'll be like, "Kitty got spur marks or whatever." But probably you should ride that.
We couldn't have made it without sleeves. That's for sure.
It's more fun.
Well, it was a lot of fun to follow along. Y'all had so much support. Like I said, people DMing me live shots of y'all out there. It was great. But next year, let's bring home the gold.
Let's do it. I'm so appreciative of all the support. You guys have such a big following that the Instagram, Twitter, social media world goes crazy because of you guys. And but all of Whisperock and just text, hundreds and hundreds of text messages, and it's weird. You're playing this little tournament, and there was 12 people out there, and then you check your phone after, and you got 208 text messages. So it really meant a lot to both of us that everybody was following.
It was cool, man.
I want to say echo that. Thank you to the USGA, those guys. I know Jonathan Coe was communicating with Mark, giving videos and updates so people could get into it. And then
He's
just
fantastic. Love
all
that,
the messages from everybody, the listeners, on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it was. You guys are the best in the world. Thanks for all the love, the support. We're grinding our balls off. We're gonna try to get one of these things, but
we had followers.
You guys are sweet.
Moms. Followers of you guys' moms coming up.
Oh yeah, we had a dinner invite that one night.
Yeah, we had
nice.
Dinner.
Yeah, is that our 3% female audience?
Loves Subpar. You guys want to come to dinner tonight? I was like, I don't know. You have wine that Victor has?
Yeah, I think we're busy.
Yeah, but it was spectacular. And to my guy Kat for being an animal. I love you, dog. Go to war. You're a beast, and it's a fun hang. Like I said, I wouldn't want to do real golf anymore week after week, but check in one time, tap in, and care again. It's fun. Now we go back to the bullshit. Riding in carts, playing for pickle dishes at member guests.
That's right.
That's what we do. So,
and after this, we're going to go play pickleball.
Yeah.
So it's now we're back to our lives.
Now we're back to real life. Perfect. Also, last shout out to the dudes we played in the semis. Carter Laughlin.
Oh, yeah. And
Wells Williams, dude. UGA kid, Vandy kid. They are awesome dudes. Probably the only match. You don't talk to a whole lot of people, period, during the thing, but I like to talk. It's just hard to find someone else that'll do it. And that Carter, man, who we just ran into.
I just ran into him at
saw him yesterday at
yeah.
NCAAs. He's out here right now with Georgia. Damn, we had a good time. And his pops, too, was on the bag for him. We just talked the whole time. It just felt like that match felt like 4 dudes who wanted to kill each other, but also laughing, hey, great shot, great putt, whatever. Those dudes are studs. So,
and they got big game. Both of them got big game. Both of them will be in the lineup for sure. I'm honestly surprised that they're not currently in. Now I know Vanderbilt's the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, just pretty tough squad.
But Georgia's always good too. Yeah. And this kid is. You'd be hard pressed for me to think that there's 5 kids on Georgia's team that are better than Carter. Carter, he's a real player. Sick mullet.
So both of them had filthy, shaved right here. I was like, first of all, I was like, let me see underneath that, because it looked shaved right here, but long in there. And he's like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, it's fierce.
Beautiful.
The thing was fierce. And Wells won an Indy. He won the Cabo event, individual, and I'm like, he's not on the. That's another. I was like, dude, how good is y'all's team?
Yeah.
If that ain't good enough, you know what I mean? But those dudes were studs. That might be their last go because they're going to be in NCAAs for the next
they ain't going
3
back.
years. And they made it to the semis last year going into college. They were like 2 of the best juniors in the U.S., I think. So those dudes were studs. Just want to shout those guys out because we had a ball. Had a really fun. Like I'll continue to keep up with them.
Key Island too. Staff was awesome. The food was sick. The greens, Bermuda can kind of, even when the course is awesome, it can get a little shaggy maybe. Yeah. But they were
like
so
grainy,
pure.
Just different.
Yeah, they were so pure, so tight. It was perfect.
You're going down there. One of the main guys came up and was like, "Your boy Gravy's coming down here to do a
speaking at the
Q&A
member
or
guest.
something like that."
Oh.
Yeah. Randomly just reached out and I think it's the river course maybe.
The river's the other one.
Go in,
really
hanging
good.
out with the boys, the member guests, and
beautiful.
Do a little talking.
They're friendly.
The food's awesome.
Yeah,
they're friendly.
Can't wait.
River, according to Mark Wichter, and it's legit. And that guy's been enough golf courses. Greatest locker room in the country.
Oh yeah, you got to go up.
Okay,
just a remodeled. I guess it burned down or
dude.
something?
It looks like the inside of like a wine barrel or like
Yeah.
a keg. That's how it's like designed, like a half circle. You know what I mean? And it looks out on like the lake or the what is it, ocean? I don't know. It's sick.
One of the sickest.
Not good with geography.
Yeah,
it's Kiowa Island.
It is an island, but there's like a marshy. It doesn't look like it's not waves.
Confirmed they
crashing.
do have trainings.
Yes,
Confirmed. So you'll be in hog heaven now.
All right. Well, I can't wait. Once again, super proud of y'all. Next year, we're bringing home the gold. And DOD King, get ready.
Oh.
The cat is coming.
Ooh, it's coming.
Go through them.
We'll be like the Don King
Yes.
for this thing. We'll set this fight up. We'll
cat
do a
is
20
coming.
And take all the money?
head to head
Like you
face
did from
off, and
Tyson?
you get nothing.
Sounds incredible.
Obviously.
Just give me my 2 tigers.
But sell the fight. Sell the fight.
All right. Well, thanks, boys. Had a lot of fun. As
You
always.
got. Thank
See
you,
next
brother.
year.
See ya.
All right. Well, that was a lot of fun sitting down with you boys. Hopefully next year you bring home the gold.
Philly is ours.
Philly
is ours.
I highly
Damn it.
recommend you not letting people know you know me in Philly. I'm not very popular.
I'm not
going to
advertise that. Did you do gravy in the sleeves? No, just sleeves.
No,
just
just
a
sleeves.
sleeves show. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's now time to step up to the tee and take a swing at betting the PGA Tour on FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. You got top 10s, top 20s, head-to-head, whatever you want. And if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is super easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. It's on to the Memorial, my man. One of the best
The house
golf
that
courses.
Jack built.
Great golf course, great milkshakes. Stellar field, designated event. They are loaded.
Big yard.
Shocking. Scotty
Big
Scheffler's
yard.
the favorite. John Rahm's the second favorite, just barely behind
Weird.
him. But going to be a lot of fun. It's time for us to get hot. We've been a little. You had
We've
a win
had
a couple
some-
weeks
we've
ago.
had
It's decent.
We're hit or miss.
Roller coaster.
Yeah, dude, that's how gambling is.
All right, well, let's get to it. These odds shock me for how good this guy is. He's 28-1. He lost in a playoff when this event. They played back-to-back weeks here during COVID. He has not had a year that we expect from this guy. He's going to turn it around at some point. He's too good. Give me Justin Thomas, 28-1.
Yeah, waiting on it. Just looks too good. He's got all the shots in the arsenal. It's going to pop here eventually, like I said. But there's guys I worry about and guys I don't. JT ain't one that I'm too worried about. All right, for my favorite, I'm going with a guy playing some damn good golf right now. He's been hanging around the hoop for a long time. If you look back, second at the PGA, right there until the end, until an unfortunate little incident in the bunker where the lip caught him. Colonial this past week, 16th, but it looks a little bit worse. Final round 73. What are you looking at?
He was at 7 under par with like 7 holes to play in the tournament. He had a disaster.
Which
Your
event are
pick.
you talking about?
I'm guessing you're guessing Victor Hovland.
Yeah, but
Victor Hovland had it to 7 under at Colonial.
Yeah, that's what
Before
I'm
a
saying.
meltdown. Yeah.
I'm saying it looks worse. It shows up as 16th, but like in my mind, I'm like, dude, you're right there till the very end. So I'm saying like he's been constantly here. Go back, top 10 at the Masters, played well there. Third at the Players. It's just like he can't get over the hump except when he's on the island. So give me Victor Hovland, 21, just been knocking on the door for a long time.
Columbus is not an island.
It's not. Tropical feel, though, up there in Columbus, I would say, when you get off the plane.
All right, my dark horse. I don't really know what this guy's history is here. I just love his game. He seems to play well every time he tees it up. One of the best short games, which I think really helps you around. These greens are big, but they're really undulated, and you got to put it in the right spot. If you do miss, you got to have a world-class short game to get up and down. I think back to some of the shots Tiger has holed over the years there. John Rahm there a couple years ago that led to Mark Hubbard's all-time tweet.
16, one of the filthiest.
Yes, Tiger
One
and
of the
John
filthiest. Yeah, correct.
Rahm. Give me my fella Shane Lowry, 55-1.
Big Shane?
Yes.
Would love to see Shane.
Yes.
Would love to see Shane on
He
a
ain't
Sunday.
scared of a milkshake.
Hoisting that thing. He's in heaven this week. All right. Normally we hang around roughly the same odds for underdog. I'm going a little further down, but I think there's some upside here, okay? Got 120 to 1 for this individual, okay? He has played 120 to 1. Which is surprising, okay? Because he has played some very good golf on some very difficult tracks, which I expect Jack's place. He likes to have that place playing tough, right? Okay, you go back 4th at the PGA. Pretty tough setup there, right? 1 Bay Hill. Pretty hard little setup there as well. He's headed to another one this week. Kurt Kitayama, 120 to 1. I feel like he's the kind of guy, like, he can disappear for a little bit, maybe have some MCs or some not good golf, but when he clicks, his good golf is really good, and it seems to show up more on, like, really hard golf courses. So,
like our gambling.
120 to 1. Yeah, fire it.
Like
Send
gambling.
it.
So we got peaks, we got valleys. You know, it is
Valleys
what it is.
is hang out for a while.
He is one when he gets like going.
Yeah.
You said like he plays really well, but that golf swing, you know, plays with a very open club face, very handsy, very timing based. But when the timing is
when it's right, and he can go and he can make birdies in bunches, and the tougher the course, it seems like. I mean, the better he is.
Well, that'll be an interesting one. If we do a little Shane Lowry, Kurt Kitayama top 20 parlay, that might pay some.
That's gonna pay. That's gonna have a nice little return, a little ROI as they call it in the biz.
FanDuel, official betting operator of the PGA Tour. Must be 21 years and older and present in select states. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hope is here. Gambling helpline ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369 in New York. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, or Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700, or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana, or www.mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming, or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia. All right, well, congrats on another silver medal.
Thanks,
That's going to do it for us. We'll talk to you on next week's Subpar.